Hello YouTubers and welcome to another video. Today I'm very excited to talk to you about three very good ANC headphones. So top of the range stuff. So I've got for you the Momentum 3s. Well, they used to be the top of the range. Momentum 3s, Sennheiser Momentum 3s. Still my favorite for many reasons. I've got the Apple AirPod Max. And I have also the B&O H95. So I'll be talking a little bit about how I feel about all of these. I've heard them all and I will give you my opinion on build quality and usability and sound quality and things like that. So hopefully you'll find this video interesting. So starting with the Momentum 3s, bit of background. These were my first ever ANC headphones. Actually, they were the Sony XM3s were my first ever ANC headphones. And then eventually I got these and I was very pleased with the sound of the XM3s. But then when I got the Momentum 3s and I compared them, and you can see the video, I was blown away by the sound on this. They come in this case here. People moan and laugh about it because it's not a proper case and people get hung up on a proper case. But it's all you need, and because it's like semi-flexible, you can pack it a lot tighter in your backpack. And to be fair, I've been using it for so long, no issues whatsoever with protecting the headphones. I find it a little bit silly that people get hung up on cases and things like that, because I'd rather the manufacturer spend money on the headphones themselves rather than having to cater to people who want a little case to keep their precious object. These are things to be used and they are rugged already. So any bit of cloth or case will keep them safe, as I can testify by these because I've had this for years. Design language on this is absolutely fabulous. I absolutely adore the design language on this. They started back 10-15 years ago with the Momentums, and they started wired and then they went wireless and so on and so forth. But this design language is absolutely gorgeous. Got the leather, got metal, it feels absolutely premium, like absolutely in love with this design. They don't get out of age, they just like, they feel ooze premium. And of course they fold. And this is a very understated feature, turn on, turn off. It's just like, you miss it when you don't have it. So really in love with these. These have been my favorite sound-wise headphones for many years. So I've got ANC anyway. So I've got the a Bluetooth ANC. So I've got the AirPods Max here, and I've got these, and I love them for a different set of reasons from the Momentum 3s. So I think they complement each other really well. So they come with this little pouch here that everyone again moans about because it's not a proper case, it doesn't protect, and it's all nonsense, because a distinct advantage of having this is that the footprint is a lot smaller, so you put it in your backpack a lot easier, yeah, you do have to be careful with this, but I'm not especially careful person and I don't have any damage on it. There's no scratches or anything. So I've had these, and these are really good. I like these AirPod Max a lot, and one thing, the design is really nice. They also ooze quality. I saw a video disassembling these, iFixit or something, you check it out. It's an absolute gem inside, all the components, it looks beautiful inside. I think it's the thing that Steve Jobs always tried to do with all Apple equipment. So yeah, so expensive, yeah, sure, but when you look at the quality of the components and things, not that expensive, like you can't expect this level of manufacturing for like 300 euros, it's just not going to happen. So yeah, really premium feeling, and the interface is really good. It's got this crown here, there, where these really shine is like transparency, ANC, and just everyday life. They just put them on, take them out, everything works. They got sensors, wear sensors and stuff. From a practical perspective, the AirPods Max are amazing, and the sound is pretty good too. Then we got the B&O H95s, and I had a lot of expectations about this because they cost a lot of money. And for all the case aficionados, you know, B&O spent quite a lot of money on this case. So a big chunk of the money you pay for these is for this case, but it's definitely worth it. They saved somewhere else on the drivers or something to be able to give you this case. I'm just being a little bit, having a dig at case lovers there. But anyway, if you're a case lover, then this is the headphone for you. When you open this case, which is absolutely gorgeous, you got presented with this. It's got a little rubber here. It reminds me of premium laptops like the MacBooks. And then you take these out. The problem with having a hard case like this, which is really hard, is that now you're having to be, and it's aluminium, you have to be careful about the case, unless you don't care about scratching it. And also, it doesn't really adjust to, you know, your backpack. So you're gonna feel it in your back if you put it in your backpack in the wrong way. And then you got the Bang & Olufsen's here. So in terms of build quality, I think these are also very premium headphones. I like them. I like the design language. They're very smooth here, a little bit like the AirPods Max. These cups come out, and they do fall out sometimes out of the blue, you know, like the AirPods Max are much sturdier, you know, like it's much harder to take them out. But with these, sometimes you handle them and they just pop off. So a little bit of a minus point there. Quality wise, I think they feel really good. What I particularly like is these dials. So on the left cup, we got this turn dial, this rotating dial, and it turns between transparency, ANC, and then transparency off, and then ANC. Then on the other side you got the same thing, but it does the volume. So overall, really nice feeling, well, you would expect for the money, right? But not anything superior to the AirPods Max or the so all of these three are like really premium feeling, and that's one thing that you can have with all of these three headphones. One slight note on the B&O, the leather, it kind of stinks a little bit. I don't know what it is, but it stinks of glue or something like that, or some sort of varnish finish that put on there, which is not very pleasant. So if you're sensitive to smells, be mindful of that. So in terms of the comfort, now if you put these on, you'll notice that the headband opens up flat and then it pushes down, and that's a bit of an issue, right? Also, look how wide they are, you know. The cups are quite shallow, so you feel your ears in there. But look at this. So when I open these, because you got this sliding mechanism here, right? So it's really thick at this bit here, because it's got like this support frame inside, and really thick on this side as well. So these bits here are not going to bend. So when you open this, what's going to bend? Just the top bit, and you can see it already, kind of like how it's going to sort of get into your head. So when you put them on, not only it looks silly, it pushes against your head there in a way that's uncomfortable. So comfort wise, I don't find this the most comfortable pair of headphones. Like with the AirPods Max, they're a lot more comfortable. You know, when you open, because you got this spring movement here, and this is really nice at the top here. So when you put them on, not only they look a lot more streamlined and closer to you, which is really useful when you're out and about, it's comfortable, right? These are much deeper and wider than the H95. So in terms of comfort, the AirPod Max is wins over the H95s. And then we got the Sennheisers, and you remember, like I said to you, when you open this, you see the movement is all at the top of that headband. So that's what's happening, because there's no movement, no give here. With the Sennheiser, it's the opposite. So all the movement is on the side here, which is much better design, right? And you know, from the HD 660S2s is also the same thing, right? So I think this might be a Sennheiser thing, you know, so all the movement is at the side here, which stops, you know, the headband from putting pressure in your head. So that's a really good thing. So head-wise, fantastic. I don't think these are as comfortable as the AirPods Max, but they are not far off. The cups are pretty deep and comfortable, and I like the leather. Although if it's hot out there, leather and sweat don't really work too well. So that works to the advantage of the AirPods Max. And of course the H95s are also leather, so they're not, but in the winter, perfect. You know, you can use, if it's cold and you're cold in your ears, put these on, you'll be laughing. In terms of interface, of course, the Sennheisers have got like these buttons, which I like, and you get used to it. So they're in your right cup and you tit, that's it, you know. But nothing can beat really the AirPods Max with its crown for the volume, and then you press to control the play, and then you got the ANC button there. The AirPods Max really nail it in terms of, you know, user friendliness. The B&O, they've got like this switch here, which you turn them on and off, and then of course you got these jog dials for the sound and the ANC. In terms of ANC performance, I think the AirPods Max are clearly the winners. You know, like they're just really good. You know, like you turn the ANC on, there's absolutely no change of the sound signature, and it's really effective. It just dulls out everything. You know, it's really strong, the ANC on this. And the transparency mode is like surreal. You know, you turn the transparency mode, and if they feel like open back headphones, you know, like you, that's lifelike. You know, you can know where all the sounds are coming from. It's almost like you're not wearing headphones, and that's a really useful feature when you're out and about, or when you want to feel a little bit safer because you want to hear your surroundings and stuff. So this is really, Apple really nailed it in the practicality aspect. Of course, the cups come off, and I've washed these before. That's really nice, magnetic. They've got wear sensors on both cups, so when you take them out, the sound stops. That's also a really nice feature. What they don't have is, like, you know, to power them off. So it's a bit of a bugger, but I think what Apple did is that to force you to, you know, put them in the case. You know, I think that it was Apple's way of saying, look, you know, it's best if you keep them in the case, because when you put them in the case, they turn off. But in terms of ANC and just practical kind of usability, the Apple AirPods are really good. The Momentums are not as good, so the ANC performance on here is okay, you know, like it's not great, and the transparency mode isn't great either. But the sound it makes up for it in some sense. But there is a bit of a significant shift in sound signature when you turn the ANC on. So most of the time I use these at home in wired connection, and for that they are absolutely a treat. These give sound like better than the other two by far. And then you got the B&O H95s, and the ANC is okay. It does affect the sound though. The transparency is okay, and they actually sound better when on transparency than when off or ANC for some reason, you know. So yeah, so those are like in the middle of the ground in that sense. In terms of sound, now let's talk to sound, because I think you guys like the sound. So I had really good hopes for the H95. So the reason I got them was because you know, the Momentum 3s, I don't really use them outside too much, because you know, if I want to go outside, I end up picking the AirPods Max for the reasons I described. It's just more practical to take outside and better in terms of ANC and transparency and so on. Although the Momentum 3s sound better, but when you're out and about, you're probably not listening to the sound so critically. They kind of do the job, but I mostly use these at home, wired. That's where so I really see the Momentum 3s are like a closed back headphone with ANC features. Yeah, and in that sense they work really well. So I was hoping that the H95s would be like that home quality of the Momentum 3s in terms of sound, plus a lot better ANC and transparency or practicality out and about. But I was really disappointed because although they sound really nice, they sound a little bit fuller. So compared to the AirPods Max here, they do sound a little bit fuller or more musical than the AirPods Max. The bass is there, the treble is there, the sound is really good on this, but it's not excellent, right? So the Momentum 3s still sound better than the H95s, in much sweeter sound, sweeter vocals. You know, like everything's so much better on the Momentum 3s than it is with the H95s. But that's not saying that these are bad. These are really good. I consider them to be on par with the AirPods Max, maybe a little bit better in terms of musicality, because the AirPods Max tend to be a little bit on the dry side. Although you get used to it, and I can listen to the AirPods Max for hours as well. It's not the sound that hurts you, right? So, and then the ANC and the transparency mode is not that great, and there are some fit issues with the H95s. Definitely some fit issues, you know, like I explained later. You know, the headband hits you there. You know, the pads are not deep and they smell. So really kind of not this, to sum it up, they sound really good, and you won't be disappointed with how they sound. They sound open, they sound transparent, they sound punchy, they sound really good, on par with the AirPods Max, but different sound signature. So the AirPods Max sound a little bit more detailed than the H95s, but not so involving, if you know what I mean. But they sound great, and whatever the DSP Apple's doing here is really good. Yeah, really nice. And if you like the features like spatial audio and all this kind of stuff, then you'll laugh. The bass on here can be really good when the song calls out for it. And of course, you got the Momentum 3s. I'm talking Bluetooth at the moment. Yeah, the Momentum 3 sound the best of the bunch into my ears. You know, the sound is a lot more cleaner. The vocals, the mids on here are just like to die for. You know, like they're really nice. The bass can be a little bit boomy sometimes, and maybe sometimes I find not as defined as the H95 or even the AirPods Max, but it's much more present. You know, like the musicality on these is absolutely stunning. But of course, they do fall short when you turn the ANC on. It becomes a little boomy. It messes up the sound a little bit, which also happens with the H95s. When you turn the ANC on here, the sound isn't as good, and then when you turn it off, isn't great either. And then when you turn transparency, that's when they are the best sound, which is a little bit defeating, because if you want to use these outdoors, you're not going to use the transparency mode if you want to be listening to music and get away from the world. So in that sense, that's a win for the AirPods Max in terms of practicality and usability and this balance between music quality and stuff. So if you're outdoors, then the AirPods Max for comfort, fit, you know, like really shallow, really comfortable. The Momentum 3s, yeah, I use these mostly at home, but the sound quality is a lot better. And then the H95 is neither here or there, you know, so not as good as the AirPods Max in practicality, and not as good as the Momentum 3s in sound. So they're kind of like in no man's land, you know. Like I don't see a case where I would use these, you know. And the comfort is not really nice. So I spoke about the Bluetooth performance, and now I want to speak a little bit about the wired performance, right? Because when I connect the Momentum 3s to my Mojo 2 via the 3.5mm cable, and both the H95 and the Momentum 3s have a 3.5mm cable as well as a USB connection, so you can use them as in DAC mode if you like. When I connect these to my Mojo 2, especially when I have the amp, or if I'm in the office, I just use the Mojo through the 3.5mm. You know, the sound of this is just absolutely gorgeous. again, I have to have the ANC off, because the ANC on messes things up. Absolutely gorgeous, you know, these are very, very, very fine pair of closed back headphones. You have to use them in active mode. The passive mode, I don't find it that great. I think I'm not quite sure what's going on there, but active mode, amazing. These sound as I can get lost in music for hours with this. The detail, the level of the smoothness of it, the bass, everything's really, really good when in wired mode. I think if you're out in the market for a closed back headphone, well, have a look at these. You can use them at home, and then if you want to go to the shop, well, you got the added benefit of ANC. Not great, but it's there. It's better than nothing. The AirPods Max wired. I tried the Lightning to 3.5mm cable, but then I've returned it. It's quite expensive, but I wanted to see what this could do with that. But then I found out that the analog signal that comes from the 3.5 goes into here, gets converted back to digital somehow, and then back to analog again. Anyway, somewhere in the mix, the sound doesn't sound great. So I was expecting to connect these to an amplifier or a DAC at home via that cable, and the results were like, meh. These sound best just Bluetooth, okay? The wire doesn't really work with these. And then, of course, I already said that the Bluetooth sound and ANC and so on is not like class leading on here. But I was hoping that connecting the 3.5mm cable would change things, and it does. The sound becomes a little bit better, a little bit tighter, but still not as good as the Momentum 3s. And the Momentum 3s, well, are a third of the price of these, or they were when you could buy them. I don't know if you can still buy them. You can buy them secondhand, maybe for like 150, 200 euros, I don't know. So that makes them a quarter of the price of a new H95, and they sound better. They just sound better. They fit better and all that kind of stuff. So, but a bit disappointment with this. I mean, Bang & Olufsen's been doing headphones for so long, audio equipment and TVs and so on and so forth. I mean, they used to have back in the day like a stereo that they used to run along the CD shelf, so the whole stereo went to the right CD instead of the other way around. So they released this to celebrate 95 years, and to be fair, yeah, it isn't great. It's got so many faults. It doesn't do anything particularly great. The sound wired is improved, and the sound is good. Don't get me wrong. I think the sound on this is really good, but it's not spectacular. The sound on here is spectacular. So yeah, a disappointment, you know, with the H95s. So just to wrap up, let's talk about this. So Momentum 3, unbelievable sound. Use them mostly at home. They got the ANC feature, and I see it just as an add-on, right? Because when you turn the ANC on, it doesn't really improve the sound. It actually has detrimental impact on the sound. So I don't really use these out and about, mostly for home as closed back headphones, and for that they are beautiful if you use the wired connection. The DAC also works very well, like the USB. Quality, comfort, really top notch. They feel premium, and I love this design. AirPods Max, clearly the winner. You know, if these sounded anywhere as good as the Momentum 3s, these would be perfect. You know, absolutely perfect, because the ANC is great, transparency is great, the fit is great, the quality is great. I think these are great. You know, they just fall short a little bit on the sound, because they're a bit drier sound, you know, and I don't know if Apple wanted to do that too, because there's a lot of detail for a pair of Bluetooth earphones on the AirPods Max. So, but other than that, really good. If you're out and about and want to use this outside, yes, this is it. B&O H95s, they're average at everything. The sound is actually above average. I think it's really good, the sound, but it's not as good as the Momentum 3s. So, and the ANC and transparency isn't bad, but it's nowhere near in the same league as the AirPods Max. And then there's one main thing there, which is the comfort on this. It's just not right, the comfort. You know, like the design is wrong. Look at this. See how that headband goes? It's like, why would you design it like that? Yeah. So yeah. So hopefully you found this comparison insightful. These are 3 of the most premium ANC Bluetooth headphones out there. So yeah. So that's my opinion / review of these 3. So just go and get the Momentum 3s, save yourself a bunch of money, and have the best sound of the bunch. Or just get the AirPods Max, but by all means skip, in my opinion, you should skip the H95s. There's no way they justify the price tag. You know, they should be, if it weren't for the premium materials, they should be like, you know, 300, 400 euros, not 800. So thank you very much for watching. Subscribe if you like it, and like if you like it, and I see you around. Take care.